Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. This is Sir the Boss Repairs. So we are back on the series of universal TV motherboard diagnose, troubleshooting and repair. So if you started watching my video lately, I guess you'll be more familiar with it. Any universal TV board to see how they work or whatever purpose they serve. Each section of the board, the backlight section, the power section, switch and button section, 3.3 volts, all those things we talked on the last video. But today I'll be specifically talking about two major problems that are affecting, it can affect any TV out there. It doesn't matter what brand. And the topic today goes across every TV. It doesn't matter whether it's Samsung, doesn't matter whether it's LG. It goes to every other TV out there that you can watch. So the main board is what I'll be talking about, and I will first of all start by giving you the problems that you can, so you can easily see the fixes for those particular problems. So I will be talking about the EPROM, which is this little guy here. You can see there it has its number. This is the EPROM, and then you have the main chip, which they always work together. This is like the brain of the TV. So if this brain chip has a problem, or if this EPROM is not getting the voltage that it should get, then this chip won't get the voltage necessary for it to power on, because it works through the EPROM. So the EPROM is where we store, where the software is being programmed through the EPROM. So if you have a TV with these two problems that I'm gonna give you just now, then this video will help you. It doesn't matter whichever TV board, all of them have the main chip. You always find the heatsink on it and the EPROM just next to it. So the EPROM is just like the gateway to the main chip. The EPROM is used to flash. We use it to flash the software required for the TV to function, because the TV needs a software which can incorporate all the hardware parts together, so that whatever function you want the TV to do, it will be a success. So I'm gonna start by saying, if the processor, this chip, the processing chip, if it's having a problem, then it is very possible for the whole other TV to malfunction. And it is like the brain of the TV again, because it processes everything. So when you get a TV that malfunctions and you fixed every other thing as a technician and you still don't figure out what is going on, then it can be the processing chip problem. So the problem of the processing chip, you will get it by two ways. I will start with the first. The first, you will get a red light on the TV which shows that your standby section of the TV power supply is right, it's okay. So the main 220 is coming in and is being broken down to DC, and you are getting the required voltage necessary to power on the other section of the board. So after you get, if you get the red light and the TV doesn't go further to switch on, then you should know that you are dealing with a potential chip problem, because the chip is the one that processes all the voltage and see that they are present, and then gives the command to the switch on button. Just think of it in a human being, like your spinal cord that of your brain, and your brains transmit everything to your other section of your body through your spinal cord. I am not a health expert, but I understand that, and if you can see that way, then you understand how important the chip is. It doesn't need, unfortunately, it doesn't need too much voltage to power on, because it's an intelligent chip, integrated circuit, so they are very intelligent. it just needs 3.3 volts. So if you are diagnosing your TV motherboard, if you're diagnosing it with your multimeter, I'm gonna connect now a power supply so we can, just 1 minute. So I went to get a power cord to make it more visible, so you understand what I'm saying, how you can easily diagnose a software problem on any TV. But I will use the illustration for the universal so you can see. Now this is just for illustration purposes because this TV board is not in working condition. Just get a power cable. Okay, so now we have power on this board. We have power. You can see the red light is on. So one of the first problem that I explained is when you have the red light and when you try to power it on. Okay, this is just for illustration purposes. This board is working. So when you power it on and then it stays just on red light, it doesn't go to the blue light, you see. It stays just on red light, sorry. You see, when you try to power it on but it doesn't go to blue light, it stays just on red light, then it can be the cause of these two guys because they work together. Or if you switch on the TV, immediately you put the power cable in, it goes straight to the blue light. It doesn't go to the red light before going to the blue light, which it must do, which it just goes straight to the blue light when you plug in the TV. If you have a TV doing those two things, I can assure you, I can guarantee you your fix is in this video now that you're watching. So we go further to check the voltages. So what you want to do, you want to put your multimeter to DC voltage, because now we are working on the main board, not on the power supply. Okay, so there are other type of TVs having two boards. So this is the power supply board. The one having the big transformers and the big capacitors is power supply board. The green board is what I'm talking about. It's the main board, and every TV has a main board. So this video is very important for someone who has a TV that just suddenly stopped working or just suddenly started malfunctioning. You must do these steps in order to find out what the problem is, and then you can fix it, or you can take it to a technician. But if you explain to them what the problem is, I think they can easily know what to fix. So you want to ground your black probe on one of the HDMI ports. I noticed the TV port is not a ground, so you want to ground there by the HDMI port, and you want to touch this side of the EPROM. You see the one with the arrow. The arrow, the first arrow means that's pin 1. Just opposite the first arrow, you want to touch there, you will get, I don't know if you can check there on the multimeter, you will get 3.3 volts. Now you must check the voltage nicely, because there's a time you will check and then you will get 3.2 volts instead of 3.3 volts. 3.2 volts will cause malfunctioning. 3.2 volts means there's something wrong with the software or with this chip. So 3.2 volts means you must reprogram the EPROM, and that is one of the ways to fix the problem, the two problems which I explained in this video. And the way to identify the problem is to stand here by the EPROM. Now I understand the fact that there are other problems that are related, because to every rule there's an exception, and I believe this one is not an exception to that formula. So I will also tell you about the dual regulator. So the dual regulator has these two pins which supply the EPROM. This dual regulator, you can test, you can check on this last pin here. You will find the same voltage that you find here on this second pin. So you can see sometimes the fault is not the EPROM, sometimes the fault is the dual regulator. So you fix that by replacing this little guy here, and then the problem is solved. Or if you replace this guy and the problem still persists, then you must take this guy out, or you have this EPROM programmers that you can clamp them. The first thing that you have to do when you are faced with the problem that I just mentioned here, the red light, the standby light, or you just go past the standby light and go straight on without switching the power, without pressing the power button. If you just plug the TV in and it just goes straight on, then you must know that you are faced with the EPROM problem. And an EPROM, you can check on Google, you can check on YouTube. There's a tool called an EPROM programmer. Unfortunately, I don't have one around me, but an EPROM programmer is used to program these EPROMs, and every TV has a board number. Every TV has a board number, and if you can search this board number on Google, if you can just go on Google, I'm just gonna show you here. If you're just gonna go on Google, and then you put the TP.V56.P8PB801 firmware. Oops. That's all you need to do. I don't have that right now, but you just need to put the board number, and you put the firmware. After you put the exact board number, you're gonna get the firmware. If you don't know how to use an EPROM programmer to flash, there's a lot of videos there already on YouTube, but I'm just telling you, before you can do the fix, you have to know the problem. And it doesn't matter whatever TV board. This is another type of TV board that I have here. This is for a style what's the name of that TV? Stylo Skyworth. It's a Skyworth TV. So you can see this is also the EPROM chip, and is the main chip. So it doesn't matter what TV board are you dealing with. When you spot the green board and you check the voltage on the chip, it must give you 3.3 volts. If you get 3.2 volts, or you get 2.9 volts, or you get any voltage, then you must know it's time you reprogram the TV with the new software. So that is a big problem out there. A software problem TV means everything else tastes okay, but the TV still won't work right. So I made this video to help someone out there that just couldn't understand what was going on with the TV. The TV was working fine, or the TV just started switching off at itself randomly. It just malfunctions. These two guys could be the problem. So I hope you learned something new in this video. If you did, as always, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and I did create a new membership group for those that are interested to learn quickly and to learn better, to put more time into learning electronics. Then you can have more contact with me, and I will create a group, and hopefully we can work to get more technicians out there doing what they love and understanding how to do what they love. So thank you so much for watching. You must have a nice day. God bless you. Bye bye.